Episode 12.
Wow.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa, dude.
It was so, yeah.
When it started right with the OP, I was just like, oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah, like...
No cold open.
No cold open this week, bitches.
It's just sitting there for a minute and a half, like, oh, fuck.
That's what you were doing the whole OP. I was like,
yeah.
oh shit, here we go. Yeah.
So then the first, like, maybe between a third and a half of the episode is Serizawa.
Like the whole thing, or
the whole Serizawa thing.
Yeah,
the whole Serizawa thing.
And I mean, I love this scene a lot. This is like one of the scenes I was really looking forward to, because I think, well, not only do I love Serizawa, but it also gives a lot of good insight on Mob.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like, especially watching back with the anime, I feel like not only does Mob relate to Serizawa on like the level of like, oh, you're afraid of your powers. Your parents.
Your parents.
I accidentally almost said parents. You're afraid of your powers, and you're afraid you're gonna hurt people. But I also feel like Mob is like, you know, like also like with the friendship stuff, and he definitely sees the parallels himself between him and Reagan. And,
yeah, where he's felt like outcast.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, it's built on trust, something that he's built with Reagan, especially since Separation Arc, and like, you know, like he knows Reagan sees him as a person, and he's like, so...
And then he feels pretty comfortable in there.
Right.
And what they have going on.
Right, exactly. And it's like, you know, it's really evident, especially because, like, you pointed out, like, last podcast episode that, like, Serizawa joining Tochiro is around the same time Mob sought out Reagan.
Yeah.
So
3 years ago.
Also,
something was going down.
Right. Something's going on. Also, the fact that Tochiro found Serizawa, but Mob found Reagan is interesting.
Oh, yeah, I never thought about that.
I just realized that.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. That's...
Yeah.
Wig.
Well, I like the flashback.
The flashback scene was really good, and it kind of like, I feel like I liked the fact that he was playing a game, because like Serizawa gamer confirmed, which like we knew from that one part in like the yokai arc, when he's like, hey, that's the name of an online game.
I fucking love him.
So we knew it, but I also liked that he was doing something in this scene, that he wasn't just kind of like sitting and staring at the wall, because I don't know, that always made it like more depressing.
I was gonna say something, but it's not safe for this podcast, so
okay, thanks. Don't say it.
You're welcome.
I think we can all imagine what it is. Anyway, yeah, I liked that he was sort of like occupied, because I think that kind of showed that how he was kind of maybe trying to distract himself, and like and kind of how he tried to continue to focus on the game to like take his mind off of like his emotions and stuff. I liked that a lot.
I did too. Also, he had an ashtray, so Bones is like, Serizawa smokes. Like,
I guess I know what people are saying that the ashtray is, but I'm still like,
it's an ashtray.
I guess so.
I'm gonna show you the screenshot.
I've seen it, and I'm like, I guess. I don't know if I know for sure that it...
What else could it be?
Just like a little bowl or something.
What's in the bowl?
Weed? I don't know.
You saying Serizawa just smoked weed all day in there?
I mean, probably.
I
don't know where he got it.
Right. But I really like this scene, because it really showed, like, you know, like I don't know, it didn't show Tochiro at all as like helpful. As like
a savior.
Yeah, exactly. It did not.
It was
super manipulative, like super like edgy kind of edging. But what I liked was like the Tochiro scene wasn't seen as like, it wasn't watered down at all. It was seen as for what it was. It was very manipulative, and there's like direct parallels between the cutaway of Tochiro, you know, handing Serizawa the umbrella, and it's watered down. It's still raining inside of the umbrella. The music is eerie. It's like super dark. Compare that to in Separation Arc with Little Mob, with Reagan. Reagan's like at Mob's eye level. He's seeing him.
They're seeing eye to eye.
They're seeing eye to eye. He's bringing him down to his level to talk to him.
It's very good.
Yeah,
and they're
exactly.
kind of like the light in that shot, like they're kind of casting light on each other.
Exactly, yes.
And Reagan and Mob, whereas with the Tochiro and Serizawa.
Right, and that's like another thing is like Reagan and Mob very much bring like the best out of each other, and that's like very evident with chapter 100, where they help each other move on emotionally.
Yeah.
And, like, become emotionally vulnerable, something that they both struggle with in different ways.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Tochiro and Serizawa, like, while Serizawa probably doesn't... I guess you could make an argument that he brings Tochiro down because he helps him with his Super 5 shit. Like, he...
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
he contributed to his evil shenanigans.
Right, exactly. And, he even admits, like, I was scared to run away. Yeah.
Stuff, yeah.
So, and obviously Tochiro brought Serizawa down and everything. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
It was good.
And then this whole episode, I think, Serizawa's voice actor really shone through.
Yeah.
What are words?
What are words? Yes, his voice actor was really good in this episode too, I agree. One of the lines that really stood out was when Mob was like, he was saying something like, your friends are full of shit or something. Yeah. And Serizawa like kind of laughs. He's like, are you a counselor?
Yeah,
and like it's
so
very
good.
Unhinged, and like I really like that delivery.
And he kind of has like I've heard this so many times before. Like like I'm not gonna take this seriously until he then sees that Mob actually does know what he's feeling, because that's what he always kind of felt like when Tochiro went to him. He was like, don't pretend like you know what I'm going through. And then because he was an Esper, he was like, oh, I guess you do know what I'm going through, even though he didn't, because he didn't have that same fear that Mob has.
Right.
But he did always just want other people that he could relate to, like specifically people that had powers. Like that is an important part of it. And
even then, like Serizawa is right, because he's like, how would you know, like, how it feels, because you're still a child and you still have your whole future ahead of you. So, like, that's very... That
does hit, because it's true.
It is Mob, valid criticism.
Yeah, Mob can have, like, a little more hope in that sense.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Because he has, like, he didn't waste 15 years in his room. Yeah, the 100% friendship was really, really well done as well. Like, just like the whole energy sharing part was really cool.
Their auras kind of mingling together.
Yeah.
It was like, so good.
It was good.
The little commercial break cutaway kind of further.
Oh my god.
Went into the Suzuki and Serizawa and Mob and Reagan parallels and contrasts and stuff.
Oh my god, yeah.
I loved it.
I love that cutaway. I had to like pause because I was.
I know. I went back and was like, wait, let me see that again.
Right. No, that was so good. Just like so many little things in that, like the fact that Serizawa and Tochiro aren't standing right next to each other. The fact that also that Reagan is like he's not the one holding the umbrella with Mob. Yeah. He's also not like. He's the one scrunching down to getting to Mob's level, and Mob's kind of being like, okay, I'll put up a barrier or whatever, I don't know, I have to protect your fucking ass.
Yeah,
and
it's very cute.
Yeah, and I guess that also kind of shows, like, not the power imbalance, but the fact that, I mean, whether or not Mob knows or not is debated, but, like, Mob definitely feels like he has to protect Reagan.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Meanwhile, Serizawa is the bodyguard for Tochiro. But Reagan and Sarah's... Right?
Whoa, that's interesting. Even though, like... Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Even though Tochiro could definitely protect himself. But Reagan cannot. But then Reagan still tries to and tries to protect Mob when he isn't able to.
And Reagan never really expects Mob to protect him.
Yeah, he didn't hire him as a bodyguard.
Yeah, he didn't hire an 11-year-old as a bodyguard.
You'll be my bodyguard. He's like, cool, I'm 12.
300 yen an hour.
You're like, don't let me get security out here. A little 12-year-old walks in. It's like, can you leave, please?
Baby.
He's just a baby. Just a child walks in. That's super funny. But yeah, so like just like how they view protecting each other with those two pairs. But yeah.
Mob forgives Sho for burning his house down and making him think his family was dead. I love what he just says, like, it's okay, I'm sure you had a lot going on.
That's like the funniest fucking response you could say to somebody who burned your house down. It's so kind of passive aggressive.
Really and also the thing that's so kind of funny about this whole thing is, like, he says that Serizawa told him that Sho was getting beat up while this was happening.
Oh, yeah.
So Mob and Serizawa were just sitting on the stairs talking out their feelings. Serizawa was
like, he was getting beat up, and Mob's like, wait, right now?
Right now?
And he's like, yeah, but can you finish talking to me for a little bit?
Let's just talk a little more.
Yeah. He's like, yeah.
He's like, wait, Sho? Oh, I think I know who that is.
Yeah.
Let's talk more.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more. He's like, wait, is that the guy? Yeah, I'll talk to you a little bit more.
No, it's okay. It's okay. You can finish your
He got
thoughts.
his revenge.
Yeah. Let it all out, man.
Let it all out. Yeah,
and then he goes up, he's like, it's okay, I've forgiven you. I took the higher road. It's fine.
I love Mob because he definitely does kind of passive-aggressive. It's like, I'm the better person. I take the high road, which is something that I also do. Yeah. So I love it. I feel seen. Speaking of the staircase scene though, but I really, really like that. And Sarazawa cried. Like,
yes. It was so good. And just kind of like the calmness of his face as he cried, I thought was really good. Like, he wasn't like sobbing, you know. It wasn't like kind of the way they animated like Minori crying. But it was just kind of like very calm face, tears, like I don't know, I was like, whoa, that was good.
Which is something that I think Sarazawa kind of deserves, because you know, honestly, with the anime they kind of showed he's very overexpressive.
Right, they definitely gave him like a lot of expressiveness, so I kind of liked that kind of like placidness that they gave him. He's very much the opposite of Mob, where his expressions show a lot consistently, and I mean obviously with his powers coming out too, they show even more so like a very calm cry like that is like something he needed, as like counteracted with Mob, who needs like a good like sob fest. Yeah, he needs a sob. Ugly sob. He will get his ugly sob one
day.
Let
Mob ugly sob.
He will. Let Reagan ugly sob.
Let Mob and Reagan cry.
They need it.
Let them show their emotions in a healthy manner. They're just crying in the office like constantly, and Sarazawa's like, God damn it.
These guys, man.
He's like, I can't.
Then Mob and Suzuki lay out kind of the philosophical stakes of their fight, which I love. Like the people need other people theme, which comes up again. I mean, that's kind of like the theme for this villain, as like a lot of the villains kind of have their like theme. Because even when Suzuki comes back in Chapter 100, that's still kind of the theme, is like people need other people.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like
that's the thing that he realizes from Mob.
The thing that I really love about Mob Psycho as a whole, and is Mob is never really alone. Like, even at the beginning, he had a very strong support group with him, like, and it just grows throughout the series. So like,
and that's what's so nice about like the way that they did the ending this season, was because it really shows that, especially how they like added characters as they went throughout the season. It does kind of show how he's just like collecting friends.
He's a friend collector. And that's the thing, is like and you know, I feel like that is like a coping mechanism for Mob, is like obviously he like doesn't worry about himself, and he worries about other people and helping other people before himself, something that Reagan also does. But like he really does like view it as like his like anything he's bad with, other people are good with, so they can like build each other up with it. He knows he has his own strengths and weaknesses, as everybody else does, and that's something that's really important for Mob's character. Holy shit.
Cat broke in.
She really just burst that door open.
Hi.
Okay.
So they cut out the Dimple Mob.
No Dimple Mob. Throws phone on the ground.
Which would have been the final Dimple Mob appearance. But even though I love the panel where he says like, that's some dangerous shit you're babbling.
Yeah.
I was okay with this choice. Are you not?
I mean, I understand it, and it is like more streamlined, but there's just like, I really love that scene because like, I don't know, just he gets a punch in, shows like, ooh, nice, and there was something else. They also, because right after that scene, Tochiro, like, I think he starts trying to actually exercise him. Dimple, and Mob grabs him right away.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah,
and he's like, and Dimple's like, he's like, oh, you're awake, and he's like, I've slept for too long or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, there's definitely some good moments in it, but they were kind of able to just
streamline it,
cut right to him getting like kicked out the window, which is
he gets like drop kicked out the window.
The necessary part, because he needs to go back down to Reagan and the others and be like, Mob's not okay.
We're gonna talk about how Dimple's like a leaf.
Yeah, he just floats down like a little leaf.
Reagan's like, whew.
Flat Stanley. You remember Flat Stanley?
What the fuck are you talking about? We gotta talk about Ray Gun.
We gotta talk about Ray Gun. That's what I'm saying.
No,
I love this scene so much. Like, this is one of my favorite scenes.
Tell me why.
Because Reagan has a gun. No, I just like it because he shows up with this, like, no plan, basically. He just goes up there and he's like, hey.
I like how he still does this thing where it's like he sees Mob in any situation, he goes, oh hey Mob.
Yeah.
And like this one is definitely like with like some sarcasm, like he walks up there and his student's like beaten half to death. Oh, speaking of which, the fight with him and Tochiro is heartbreaking and I hate it.
It really is.
And I
do want to say one thing that they're doing with Suzuki's like kind of character design that I like is giving him that like evil little smile all the time. I'm like, that's good. Because, like, that's his, like, he enjoys this. Like, when he's doing, like, the disappear thing, when he's going in to punch Mob.
Yeah, what a fucking child.
He's having the time of his life.
Yeah.
And that's, like, what he says to Mob during, like, next episode. It's like, oh, like, you enjoy this too. But anyway, I just think that was good from, like, a character standpoint.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. Good villain.
Good villain. Going back to that, I also love how he's like, I realized in middle school I was different and better than everyone. You two stopped growing. And Mob's like, no, you're the one still stuck in middle school, which is super fucking raw and super funny. But anyway, so Reagan comes in and he's like, I got a gun. And again, he's just kind of...
I love this scene because he's so angry, but he's like has to kind of keep it under wraps.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you can tell Reagan is like furious right now, and he's like super pissed off, and like that comes out when he finally punches Tochiro. Did you want to talk about like the dialogue change?
I did want to talk about the dialogue change. So I love the scene, and the thing that I love about the scene is that Reagan slips into this persona so easily. This like persona of the manipulator and sort of who he could be if he was more like Suzuki. It's not like there isn't a part of him that's like that. I should phrase it better. There is a part of him that's a little bit like that, you know, that
and even
that knows
like,
how to do that. And like, you know, Tochiro says like, oh, so you're also someone who uses other people for your gain or whatever, or something like that, he says, which also I think is a little bit different than in the manga. Also, I thought another thing that they changed that was kind of interesting was I thought in the manga they more explicitly called out the fact that he doesn't have powers in that scene. And I don't know if it was a translation change or a script change, but basically in the anime they didn't really say like, oh, so you're like a regular human who's like using an esper. Like, that's ironic.
Yeah, he
said like you can't like sense that I have powers or whatever, but it didn't kind of get to the like really direct like, oh, you're a fraud type of thing that I really like that about that scene.
Yeah, I think he kind of like he acknowledges the fact that Reagan doesn't have powers because he's like, I don't sense anything from you. But you know, I think it kind of like is referenced a little bit when he's like
But Reagan doesn't really like admit it or agree to it.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And where he does in the manga, where he's just like, yep, I don't have powers.
That's true. He kind of goes around it a little bit. Yeah, I agree. Do you think it changes like the narration or anything like that, or do you think it's better or worse?
I mean, I think I like the manga scene better, but the one thing that I really want to talk about that they cut out that is my favorite part of this scene in the manga was when he's saying like, oh, there are powers that humans have, like espers need to know, and like Toichiro says like, oh, like mental support, like mocking him based on what Mob had just said to him, which is obviously kind of referring to like Reagan's advice, and then Reagan says, no, that's just nonsense I made up to use him.
Oh yeah, you're
right. And the panels of them, they have like the exact same like smug little smile on their face, and I'm just like, ah! But it's so good because like Reagan, it's so painful for Reagan to be like saying this and speaking so like flippantly about their relationship while Mob is like laying on the ground beaten up and like in a very vulnerable place and very scared, and to have his master show up and like obviously he's saving him and he trusts Reagan and he knows that Reagan is lying and he knows what Reagan's doing, but it still has to hurt to hear him like say these things, and then for Reagan to say it and to say it so like easily, like he didn't have to say all that shit.
Right. No, I agree.
He like just like slipped into that because like there is a part of him that's afraid that that's what he's like.
Right. No, yeah, I agree. I've always kind of wondered, like, in that scene with the manga, if Mob, like, knows, like, he's aware that Reagan's just, like, bluffing and he knows Reagan's just doing, like, this show or not.
Yeah, I'm sure that he is, but yeah. I think that it's still, like...
It still hurts.
It still hurts.
Yeah, because, like, well, I mean, obviously Mob, like, still gets pissed off when Reagan dies.
Yeah.
Almost dies. But we'll get to that.
So then...
No brute strength, bitch.
Yeah, so brute strength moron, which is a more kind of accurate translation. But
yeah, but still, brute strength, bitch, was so fucking funny.
It flows so good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
That's okay. I get that. I understand.
We understand.
In a perfect timeline, it would be bitch, but it's okay.
Perhaps. And then one of the scenes that hit me really hard in the anime, more so than the manga, was like when Reagan thinks that he's gonna die.
Oh yeah.
Like that just really hurt me. Like I thought like the voice acting was so good when he's like literally begging for his life, which is kind of such an uncomfortable thing to hear Reagan as a character do, because we've like never seen a side of him that's like that at all, basically. Right. And it's obviously because if he dies, like, Mob's gonna be left alone.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of where his, like, panic comes from, because, like we've talked about, Reagan's, like, very much willing to, like, well, definitely getting hurt for, you know, Mob and for the other kids and stuff, but also, like, lay down his life for him. But, like, he knows in this moment, like you mentioned, like, if he's gone, if he dies in this moment, then Mob is done for. Like, he's the last support line right now.
Right.
So, yeah.
Or so he thinks.
Yeah. So, like, a lot of that desperation can definitely be seen, where it's, like, at first you can think, like, oh, he doesn't want to die, but, like, you can think of it as, like, he doesn't want to die because Mob is going to die.
Yeah.
And he can't leave his student alone like that.
Yeah. It just hurt me to see, like, the panic. I was like, oh my, no.
Yeah.
No.
And then, one of my favorite scenes in the entire fucking series.
Oh, yeah.
Sarazawa comes. Beautiful, breathtaking.
It's
so
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reveal was just great. The smoke fading away and then showing the umbrella, like, disintegrating and his eye. That was really good.
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah, they did, like, streamline a little bit of it. They got rid of the part where Tochiro, like, is like, I fucking use you as a fucking battery. Like, goddamn, that is...
Yes.
That's a lot.
Because what happened in the manga was that the umbrella did not dissolve, like, right away, but then the second time when he was like, time for punishment, that's then when the umbrella dissolved, and then he was like, I'm gonna recharge using your power.
Right.
And kind of, like, left Serizawa in this very kind of, what's the word I'm thinking of? Sort of, like, humiliated. Yeah. Like, it's, like, a very bad place. I didn't really mind, like, losing that. Even though it is, like, such a raw and, like,
I think it adds to, like, how much Tochiro uses him and, like, abuses him. But God, I was really, really waiting for this scene because, and honestly, I think I like both of them. Like, I really love how it is in the manga, but I also really love, like, how they had Mob say this line. But, like, just, they kind of got rid of, like, when Tochiro looks over and Mob is standing again and he's like, oh, you decided to stand up, like, after he shoots Reagan, and Mob's face is just so fucking raw. But I loved it in the anime where it just pans over. Well. And he's like, we're done talking. Yeah. So, like, I really like this line cut, or, like, this kind of, not like, kind of, like, rewrite a little bit. Yeah, because in the manga, it's kind of, it goes between, like, the two, like, people who don't think about their feelings tend to piss others off, and some people only learn through pain. It kind of goes through those two. Yeah. Like, but this one's just, like, those who don't know how others feel, never mind. Like, I love that.
I thought that was really good.
Because it is, like, because you were saying this while we were watching it, it is, like, Mob, like, you know what, guess what, we're done talking, like, you don't deserve an explanation.
Yeah, he, like, starts to kind of say say like another lesson, like, oh, I'll say one more thing, like, those who don't know how others feel, and then he's like, never mind. Like,
we're
I'm gonna
done talking.
Fucking kill you now.
You're only gonna learn through pain. Like,
but
yeah,
so
that fucking scene is so fucking raw. And like, the thing is, it's like, it's just, I don't know. And it's like, I love this scene so much because like, so many people are like, oh, does Mob care about Reagan? It's like, Mob fucking goes ballistic.
Those people aren't watching the show, so you don't need to worry about that.
Well, it's like he goes ballistic when he thinks Reagan's dead or hurt. Yeah. Like, Toshiro took a shot at Reagan, and that's what pisses Mob off. Well,
and I love it, too, because I think that Mob's also kind of mad at himself in that scene a little bit. Because I think, like, it's part of, like, you know, what he learned from Mogami is that he was trying to talk it through. He was trying to be kind and compassionate to Toichiro. Like, he offered him, like, oh, if you need someone to talk to, like, I'm here, and, like, reached out his hand to him and stuff. And then Toichiro was like, nope, I'm gonna try to kill you. And he kind of, like, dealt with it when it was just on himself, you know? Yeah. Like, he was just kind of taking it when it was just him getting beat up. When it's like, Mob, you know, he probably could have done something about it, right? If he can, because then all of a sudden he snaps when he sees that someone else is in danger.
That's the thing,
as he so often does.
Well, and that also happened, like, at the very beginning when, like, Toshiro, like, was yelling at Sho and was like, you know, I forgot what he says, but he says something really terrible to Sho, and Mob's like, hey! And I really love that part where Mob gets angry on behalf of Sho. I agree, too, and I also think it's a lot of, like, Mob is like, you know, Reagan has no way to protect himself. Yeah. Mob is like, you're really bringing...
Because he's like, Serizawa, take my master somewhere safe.
Yeah. Because he's like, you're really bringing in somebody who doesn't have powers into this, and you're just, like, ready to kill him on the drop of a dime. And, like, so I think that also really hits Mob. Yeah. But,
and just sort of his, like, realization that, like, you can't solve everything through talking. I was trying to talk it out. It didn't work. Yeah. Time to take some action. And then, of course, to protect everyone else, he, like, lifts the tower into the sky to make sure that it's just a one-on-one fight, and there's not going to be anybody else caught in the crossfire.
Mob's actually pissed because if Reagan's dead, no one's going to sign his paycheck.
He's like, that's my main source of income.
That's my paycheck! Who's going to sign my paycheck? But no, I agree with him, like, lifting the tower up, so, like, and, you know, like, all of that shit's gonna happen. Yeah. I really like the, all that shit's gonna happen, that's really big. I feel like the anime brought more attention to the, not the differentiation, but, like, the contrast between, like, Toichiro, using 10% of his power and Mob using 100%, because I never really thought of Mob 100% as using 100% of his power, you know, if that makes sense. Do you know what I'm talking about? I always thought of it as, like, he reached 100%, like, whatever his motion is, but Chihiro's like, oh, are you using 100% of your powers? Right. This is only 10% of mine.
And I think that, that's maybe a misunderstanding on his part.
Yeah, you know, it definitely is. And, you know, like, later he's like, oh, this isn't 100% of your power. It's like, whatever.
Right, because Mob has so many different, like, kind of ways that he can use his emotions and his powers.
Right, exactly. And it's like, I don't know, I guess I just never saw, like, I don't know if that line's in the manga or not, but never saw that contrast.
It is.
Yeah, I think it is.
I think that they kind of draw attention to, like...
They draw attention
I'm only at 10%.
Right, especially with, like, the flash of the 10%.
And I think he says, like, are you at 100% or whatever?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Something like that, but...
So that
is that all of your power, and I'm only... Oh, Jesus. Okay, sorry. Cat's attacking me. Well, next week, I love this fight. I think it's going to be so gorgeously animated. Just the way that it's drawn is already so beautiful, and there's so many...
with, like, the
great moments in it. Like, Mob seeing Ritsu and 100% shame, and...
Oh, no!
I really like 100% like resignation, actually, because at first it's like, oh, Mob is giving up. He's giving up in the fight. But then you realize, no, he's giving up trying to, like, save Suzuki, which means he's gonna, like, fucking kill him.
Which means he's gonna fucking kill him.
Oh, God, it's so scary and kind of, like, cold-blooded, and I love it.
I always liked 100% ecstasy.
Yeah.
Just because, like...
His face.
That's gonna give a lot of Dimple Mob energy, I think.
I think so, yeah. Just kind of the way that he's drawn that,
and how that immediately goes into 100% shame. Oh, God, I can't wait. Ooh. I wonder how they're going to overlay that flashback. Because how they do it in the manga is so cool.
I hope they do something. They might just kind of like flash between it or something. That'd be cool if they did sort of like an overlay.
Yeah. So that's going to be cool. And then it's probably going to end with like the fallout.
Yeah, so that'll probably be the first like half of the episode, and then it'll kind of be like Mob gets dug up out of the ground. They go back to their house. Their house isn't burnt down anymore.
Yeah, Ritsu's very unhinged like through the whole thing.
Very stressed out. Boy.
He doesn't want to go to Reagan's house.
The scene where Suzuki is taken away by Joseph and he says some like mean shit to Sho and Serizawa. Well, mostly mean shit to Serizawa, and he kind of just to Sho, he's just like, sorry.
What does he says something to Sho and Serizawa's like, should you say that in front of a child?
Oh, Joseph says that he's going to prison, but it's not like a normal prison. He'll get like experimented on and stuff. And then Serizawa was like, should you say that in front of a kid?
Speaking of experimentation, we were kind of talking about this during the rewatch. Tochiro mentions like, you know, how like he uses his powers and he gives his powers to other people because experimenting on people to awaken their Esper powers doesn't really work. And we were kind of talking about this in season 1. There's like a throwaway line where one of the members of Claw, not the main guys, but like one of the lackeys, says that the guy who had experimentation on and actually got powers awakened was there, and it was Sho, and they call him like the awakened kid or something. And I was like kind of wondering if they like retconned that because they never really bring back attention to it, or if
because, like, what's supposed to be the implication?
Yeah, because I always was like, oh, so, because, like, you know, it could go both ways. It could go, Suzuki definitely experimented on his own kid to awaken his powers early on, and it's hereditary, and he already had powers, but he needed something to awaken them, similar to, like, maybe Ritsu.
Like Ritsu, maybe.
Yeah, or, you know, they were always there, and there wasn't any experimentation. They just kind of forgot about that or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, because I was going to try to look back in the manga to see if they mentioned anything like that, because I think they do.
Yeah, I kind of remember there being a line like that. But I was always like, is that about Sho?
I always thought it was because he was the one they said that was visiting.
Yeah. So,
I don't know. And that was like, I don't know, that was always something that imprinted on me with Sho. Like, I was like, oh shit, this kid was experimented on. This poor child.
Yeah, because that definitely would add, like, just another layer of just, like, horror to his life.
Because, like, I can definitely see, like, his dad, like, starting the experimentation on Sho, and it did awaken his powers, and he's like, oh, this works, and then it didn't. Because Sho maybe already had, like, powers, and like I said, it might have had
just awaken his,
like quicker
latent powers.
Yeah, exactly. Like, similar to, like
with Ritsu.
Yeah, exactly. So, maybe. Or they just retconned it, or
you don't have to torture him. Just, like, make him do some morally ambiguous shit, like with Ritsu, and it'll just come out.
Make him go yell at his brother in an alleyway.
Yeah. Make him frame some people for... like, for being pervs. And...
make him have a spirit possess him that brings out his powers.
Yeah, it works.
What does Ritsu say to the student council kid on the roof? He's like, you're getting off on this.
You get off on this, don't you?
What the fuck was that? That's like, who translated this?
No, I think that's... People say that.
Yeah, they should say it when they're 13.
Well, whatever.
Anyway, so, next episode,
well, okay, so then, of course, it has to end. We have to see the broccoli. We have to see the broccoli. Because that's, like, total hilarious. I honestly can't wait to see anime-only reactions to it.
Oh, they're gonna lose their shit. They're gonna be like, oh, that's from the OP! That's from the OP!
What? The broccoli? The what? There's a literal broccoli? Like, people are gonna flippin' lose their minds. I can't wait. Which is also, we get another chance to see Reagan in his pajamas and potential Reagan bedhead. Since Bones dropped the ball on Reg and Bedhead last time.
So no Bedhead?
Due to their horniness. Due to horniness, we regret to inform you, we will not be including Reg and Bedhead. We will be including Back.
We will be including...
and Shower.
Back and Shower. No bedhead, though.
No bedhead. So
bedhead machine broken.
I hope that they include bedhead
next
episode. It's their chance at redemption.
It's Bones' redemption.
I just want to see his messy hair.
I do too. But anyway, so I'm really hoping the episode ends with like Serizawa getting his makeover. Well, the Gray ending theme plays. I feel
like they have to use Gray as the end theme.
They definitely will,
because they need every minute they can get. True. Next episode, I think. Yeah. Like, they can't sacrifice a minute and a half to like the ending or whatever. And they've already done everything they needed with like the ED as far as adding all the characters. There's no one left to add to it.
Yeah.
So they're gonna do the Gray ending.
Yeah, I definitely.
And that song was like written for Serizawa.
Yeah, there is like. I really like that song too.
Yeah, like look up the English lyrics and tell me that it's not going to be over the Serizawa scene.
I think they will definitely end.
Like I feel like we should clarify Serizawa starting at Spirits and Such. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, and he gets like clear. His little like he gets a little shaven cut from
just a little scene of like if it's a couple days later or whatever, when they're in the office and Reagan's like, oh, he's late, and then Serizawa walks in, he's like, and then he's like, I'm gonna give you a haircut.
Yeah.
He has his new look.
They definitely will end with Serizawa, I think, joining.
I really hope so.
Spirits and Such, because like that leads into season 3 and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking of it and I was like, oh, I wonder if they'll do something similar with season 1's ending.
With a little like short afterwards.
But the thing is, I was thinking about it. The season 1 short ending, like little short like omake that they animated for it, was like kind of just to show like, and like went back to normal. And this is how like the main story has changed and how it hasn't changed. Like Mob still works for Reagan, all this stuff. Yeah. He's like a little bit closer to Ritsu and stuff. So they definitely have to. I think they're going to end season 2 with something very similar, where it's like, and life goes on. Like Serizawa is now working at Spirits and Such, and setting up like the next the next arc with like Broccoli, but like also like the setting up the I don't know what to say, the formula, I guess.
Yeah, setting it for like the new kind of calm after the storm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you remember if they cut out the OP in the season 1 finale?
They did not.
I didn't think so. I was trying to think if they would do that this week.
Because wasn't that, they had cliffhangered Reagan being dead, and then, the OP was in it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Because I was thinking if they were going to get rid of it or not, just to, like, add more time and stuff. But they probably won't.
Probably not. They've had the OP in every single episode.
Yeah.
So, they probably won't stop doing that.
They usually don't. And like I said, they didn't do that in season 1. They usually
don't, cut it out?
Not for Mob Psycho. They do that in other anime.
They never have cut it out for Mob Psycho.
Yeah, they'll do that in other anime.
Yeah, I understand that. But
yeah.
I mean, they could, but...
They could, but I doubt it. Anyway.
Whatever. We'll see ya next week for the last time. The last time. Ever.
There's no season 3.
There's no season 3. It's canceled. It's canceled. Bones told me.
Bones came into your bedroom and said, we're not going to have Bedhead Reagan. It's canceled. No. You're like more upset about that than season 3 being canceled.
Fuck season 3.
It would be kind of cool if they just did like a little series of like omake shorts, like OVAs.
Oh, that would be amazing.
I would really love that because there's like a lot they could.
Yes.
Yes. The summer omake with Teru.
Yeah.
The Shut Up and Eat.
Shut Up and Eat.
Yeah.
I don't know what else. I just like Shut Up and Eat. Looking at the sky. I like the Looking at the Sky one.
That one's good.
That's my favorite one.
You know, if they do that, maybe they could do the same thing where they did season 1 ending, where it was one drew the storyboards, and some of the smaller ones, they could have one draw the storyboards again.
Oh, yeah.
I was trying to think if they would do that with this season 2, but I don't see it fitting anywhere unless they did it with Serizawa's makeover.
Yeah.
But I don't think they would. Anyway.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.